Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'm going to be transforming my jade plant here into a bonsai version of itself. So I've had this plant for about 4 years. As you can see, it's grown really big in that time. It's done really well. I've never pruned it ever since I've got it. I've just let it grow as it naturally wants to grow. The only thing that has happened to it is because it's on a windowsill and it's been pressed up against glass, it's a lot narrower in this direction than it is in this direction, and that's just because the glass pushing against it, the plant is forced to go outwards. Apart from that, there's been no pruning whatsoever. Let's just let it grow into its natural shape. So now I want to start pruning it a little bit, try and make it look more like a tree, more like a small kind of bonsai. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to remove all these lower shoots because I'm finding it keeps throwing up new shoots from down below, and what that's going to cause is just a really bushy appearance, and you won't be able to see the trunk as well. So you can see there's 3 here that I need to remove. There's also another one here, and if I do ever want to have more shoots from the base in the future, I shouldn't have to worry too much because this plant seems to regularly put out new shoots from lower down, and I can always incorporate them later on if I need to. So I'm just going to go around cutting these off right at the base as close to the trunk as I can, so that when it dies back it should be a nice flat surface. So I think that's enough on that side. There's only the one really. Looking around on this side, we've got 2 smaller ones which I'm going to remove. Again, cutting them right at the base. And these will actually make really good cutting materials, especially this larger one here. I think this is quite a nice shape, this one. Just remove that leaf so I can get into it easier. Again, try and cut as close as I can. If I can't get it close enough, what I may do is I may get a tool later on, like a knife, and cut that off. In fact, I can show you that now. Just get a knife and I can just cut, because it's still quite soft, it hasn't got woody yet. I can just cut away at this until I get a nice flat surface. It should heal up nicely. It's a very healthy plant, so I'm not too worried about infection or anything like that. And it will it'll heal up and bark over. And it's quite good at doing that normally, the money plant. So there we are. That's that cut away. I'm also going to remove this lower leaf down here because I don't want any leaves on that main stem. And there's a couple of shoots like this one here. I'm just going to pull off any of the little shoots that are trying to grow from lower down because I don't want any more growth. And there's an old shoot here which has died off, which hasn't come off, so I'm just going to cut that off, get it closer to the trunk, just rotating it, making sure I'm happy with the general shape. Looks quite good at the moment. So as I was saying, this will make a really nice bonsai tree. You can see it's already got a nice branching habit. It's kind of going to the side and all branching out in one direction, but I reckon I could tweak that with a bit of pruning to get that to look nice. So there we are. I think that's mostly what I'm going to do on this one. I don't think I'm going to do too much more. There's a couple of little shoots in here that I'm going to remove, stop any further branching from too low down. But generally I'm very happy with that. Now a lot of people, they'll take off a lot of the leaves from all the stems and it'll make it more top heavy, make it look more like a tree. But I'm actually wanting to keep a lot of these lower leaves, partly because they'll help thicken up the trunk a little bit more, but also because the more leaves, the more photosynthesis, the faster this plant is going to grow. I've got some other bonsai trees from Crassulars like this one here, the money plant, and I've been treating them much more like a traditional bonsai, cutting them hard, letting them stay small. This one I'm just trying to grow it as big as possible really, but then slowly change it into a more bonsai kind of look over time. So you can see most of the foliage is growing this way, so I obviously need to rotate it more on the window, and this side should green up a little bit more. But ideally the other side, once I take some of the other branches off, it will become a lot cleaner like this and look like a nice tree. You can see that's starting to already become a nice appearance. The main reason why this is so bare is because these branches were growing out of it and they were blocking the light. So in this one around here, there is a little branch down here which is going to kind of be smothered out, so I'm going to take that one off as well. That's not really needed. Looking around, there's an old leaf here which isn't doing anything, and this one as well. As they're starting to go yellow, I'm going to take them off because they'll fall off anyway soon. As I say, I'm not going to be overly keen in taking off all the lower leaves, as I do want it to grow as fast as possible and thicken up as much as possible. But I will take a few lower leaves off just to show you what the stem will look like. It will also help me to visualise what this will look like in a few years, once it's lost some or more of the leaves naturally. And it also gives me a better, clearer idea of what the stem structure is like. And I'm actually very happy with the stem structure. As I say, I've never done any pruning. The stem structure does look quite nice. There's a few branches growing inwards which I think I might actually remove. So you can see this one here. There's a nice stem coming out to the side, but there's other ones underneath kind of growing through it. So I'm going to remove that because I don't believe that's necessary, that branch. So I'm just going to cut that off there. That creates a bit more space for these branches, and it's not competing with that one, and that will hopefully grow over the top. I'll just look around now, see if there's any others like that. You can see the top half is really looking nice. All the branches keep coming up and they keep branching quite regularly, and they're not overshadowing each other anyway like that. Some of these still, they're maybe a little bit. So this one, I'll probably just cut it off here. Let that side shoot take over. Let it grow more that way. Looking around the other side, we might have some more branches that need taking out. It's a little bit trickier to see because they're all kind of growing towards me at the moment. So this is a very long branch, doesn't have any branching until the top, and I'd really like to get this to branch better. So I'm going to cut this quite low down, cut it off like that. It may grow up a few new shoots from that, we'll see what happens, but it frees up that, lets me see the stem a bit more. This branch as well, I'll probably remove this completely in the future, because as you see, as I take that away slightly, you can see there's a really good stem structure starting to appear on this tree. So I think in the future I'll remove this, but for now I'm going to leave that stem because that helps to thicken up the trunk as well. And eventually I may just remove these two side ones and just have the central tree. I think that might look quite nice, but at the moment I'm trying to grow it bigger and see if I want it multi-stemmed or single-stemmed. Once I cut it off, it's going to be hard to regrow a multi-stem tree. But you can see if I was to remove this branch here and these two lower ones, if I pull that back slightly, you can see that would be a really nice kind of baobab type bonsai tree. And I think I'll be really happy with that. But as I say, at the moment, I'm quite liking these, so I'll keep them for now. But yeah, that would probably be the original, the final design that I'll go with, is kind of like a baobab style. But the longer these are on, the more this will thicken up and I'll get a really nice taper started on the plant. So is there any other ones I can see? I can see this one back here, which is kind of just growing out a bit, so I'm going to reduce, just nip that one down. Hopefully that will make it branch a bit more. I'm going to look for any other ones which are quite long without any branching growth, if they need any pruning to encourage branching. But I think generally most are quite good. There is this one here that doesn't have any branching, only a little bit of branching, but I'm going to leave that for now because that's quite low down. I'd quite like this to become a main trunk similar to those other two trunks. So I'll leave that one. So I think that's it for now. You can see I've cut off quite a bit of material. I'll be trying to make some cuttings out of these. These will make plenty of cuttings for me. As I say, maybe in the future I'll remove all the side branches and have a nice kind of bonsai looking appearance. That's it for now for my, my jade plant, and hopefully I'll have a beautiful bonsai in a few years' time.